Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Multiplayer, the podcast by gamers for gamers. I am your host, Zach Matskandis, alongside the lover boy himself, Javier Ortiz.
Yo.
What's up, baby?
That's me. What up?
Yo. Man, this is weird. I feel like I have two cameras to look in now. For the people at home watching on Instagram, we're trying this new thing out where we're doing like a live Instagram while we record our podcast. So, of course, Multiplayer is all over the place, in your ears and in your face. You can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/multiplayer. You can also check us out on podcast services everywhere. Pick your favorite podcast service and look us up. Be like, dear iTunes, or let me listen to Multiplayer.
Yeah, really. Don't
forget that ED on the end to find us. And of course, those episodes release every Wednesday. And Kevin is watching. Hey, I'm watching.
Yeah, Kev.
You better be Kevin. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of a new idea where it's like, why don't we record live on Instagram while we are, while we're doing the show anyways. Might as well. That's just like another avenue to kind of check us out. So, it's kind of a work in progress. We'll see how it goes. If anybody wants to ask questions and stuff along the way, or, shout out, whatever, Mag's like, I'm here. Cool. Dope. And of course, after we record this will also be on YouTube and podcast services on Wednesday. So you're basically getting a sneak peek. But stick around, listen. We have a fun show this week, Hav.
Yeah, there's also something really fun behind you that I see. Something
there
real
sure
nice.
Is. So, all right, for the people listening, on the show or Instagram Live, whatever, we're giving away a PS5. It is right here. Here's the PS5.
Yeah.
It's so heavy, it's literally breaking this little table that it's on. If you're watching this on YouTube, you have a even better look at this. But basically, we're giving away a PS5 on February 20th. So if you haven't... What kind of headset is that top guy? I'm assuming, what's he wearing? I can't remember what these are. Let's see. These are the DT770 Pros. It's basically like editor headphones. Editor? Did I say editor? Editor headphones. For their heads. So, yep, you need that PS5. Well, it's right here. It's real. I'm going to break my back trying to pick it up. There it is. You can win this. So, for the people that entered, thank you so much for entering. Received. If you haven't entered, please go to our Instagram and check out the rules there. I need to do a new story after this with like all the rules, but it's also, if you go to our Instagram and look at the rules, or look at the picture of the PS5 and our stupid faces, you'll see all the rules in the description. So, Hav, I had a thought, I had an idea for this episode.
Okay.
Basically, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and so love's still kind of lingering in the air a little bit.
Lots of love in the air.
And exactly, and obviously we're giving away this PS5 on Saturday. So I was like, let's do like a PlayStation episode, like just a PlayStation love.
For the love of PlayStation.
For the love of PlayStation. I think that is what I did type that.
Yeah.
For the love of PlayStation. So basically, I wanted to do like a special PlayStation episode where we're kind of talking all things PlayStation.
I like it.
It's still kind of early on in the year, so there's like lots of new things to come. And there's obviously with the new system that's out, been thinking about the old systems as well, and
for sure, it's been around for a long time.
It's been around for a while now. It's kind of crazy to think like how old like the PlayStation brand is now.
Yeah, makes me feel old.
I know, right? it's yeah. I'm becoming an old man.
Yeah, really.
Cool. So let's get right into things. And like I said, for anybody that's on the Instagram side, if you have any questions, feel free to throw it at us as we're kind of going through this. So first thing I wanted to kind of talk about this week, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart got a release date of June 11th. So right around the corner.
Yeah, coming up. It's pretty exciting. I can't wait for that one. It's always been a franchise that I really like, and I've always appreciated, but I've never actually played through an entire Ratchet and Clank game. But I've played bits and pieces of many of them, and like it's always pulled me in because I love like the crazy weapons and the funny like dialogue that they have in the game. And plus, this is exciting because like this is the first. I think this is like the first real like legit PS5 game. I know Demon's Souls is like, it's technically PS5 only, but this one feels like this is a totally original just for the PS5, straight up PS5 game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And it's something that we've kind of talked about it on the show in the past, where it's like, with games also coming to like PS4, it's like I'm happy that PS4 owners are getting these games that are coming to PS5 because like they haven't been able to get their hands on a PS5 yet, or they can't afford it, or whatever the thing is. But as like, I feel like an elitist now because I not only do I have a PS5, I have a PS5 we're giving away. That's how we're rolling over here. Now, it's just I feel like old tech is sort of like holding back like some interesting things you could do with like the PS5 hardware, or even it kind of goes for every console. It's what like the Series X is sort of the same way, where it's like I feel like the Xbox One's sort of holding back what you could do with like a Series X game, and my thinking is that's probably why the new Halo was looking kind of booty, but
maybe.
But it's cool to see like a PS5 exclusive like Rift Apart. Me personally, like I've never been a big Ratchet and Clank guy. It's one of those series that it's always looked kind of interesting, but it never quite kind of like struck a chord with me where I was like I need to play this game. And so it's always been something I've kind of looked at from afar, but haven't ever really gotten into. But this new one, like, just kind of looking at the trailer and sort of like what they're doing with the tech, kind of like the portals you can sort of leap through.
Yeah, for sure.
And
visually it looks really nice. Like I like the art design has always been good in Ratchet and Clank, but like now that it's got like those super nice textures and graphics and the colors are really, they pop and they're really beautiful. Like this one seems really, really cool. Plus, I mean,
for sure,
Ratchet and Clank, like one of the best things about it has always been the weapons, and like I can't wait to see what kind of weird weapons they come up with, because like they've had ones where like you turn your enemies into sheep. There's one where it plays Tchaikovsky's like I think it's 1812 Overture, like like that. Like it's they're really funny, and it's always like a wild ride, like cycling through all of Ratchet's weapons, because it's really like that's what makes that game so much fun.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I mean, it's just this new one. I mean, first of all, Insomniac. I mean, they're just fantastic. They're on a roll, man. It's like the fact that they just made like the original Spider-Man like just a couple years ago, and then they released like Miles Morales, and then like within the same year. Oh no, year of time. Different year as far as like on the calendar
year, but like not that far away.
Yeah, no, but the fact that they're coming out basically with like another game for the PS5 is like that's pretty wild, man. They're just like knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of good work. I can't wait to see like what they come out with next in like the next year or two, because it feels like they're just coming out like nonstop, just like bam, 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 like and I mean, I guess it makes sense for like. Spider-Man and then Miles Morales, they kind of share the same blueprint almost. I don't know game design or anything, but like I feel like they've got like Spider-Man laid the groundwork, and then Miles Morales was able to like work on that, and they were just able to build upon what they did for Spider-Man. And then Ratchet and Clank feels like it feels a little bit the same, where like it looks similar to that PS4 version, just better.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for this new one. I think I'll definitely play it. And I don't know if the the remake of the first game that came to the PS4. I'm not sure if I have that like in my catalog, just like a free PlayStation or PlayStation Plus game at some point. I'm not sure. I have to double check, but I'd like to kind of go back and play that now and sort of, sort of catch up on the original and then play this Rift Apart when it comes out.
Even if you don't have it like saved, support your boys at Insomniac because they're just killing it, man. Like they're doing a really good job. They deserve every cent, Like they're doing everything they've been coming out with for PlayStation the past few years they've been bangers. Like they've all been really great. And nothing feels like it's not that good or like it could have been better. Like they're all just really, really great games that they're coming out with.
Yeah, for sure. So, just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. There was basically I've been playing some games on my PS5 lately.
Elitist.
So I know, right? So I kind of wanted to sort of just jump into like what we've been playing lately. I've been playing a couple things. I'll start with one. Which is Hitman. I've been playing Hitman on my PS5. But basically, I've been going through all the Hitman games, 1, 2, and 3, and man, those are really good games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would like them, Hav. Like they're basically like right up my alley, which is like super stealthy. Take your time. I played a mission yesterday that I was trying to perfect it, and so I kept just like saving, going back, or like restarting.
Oh yeah,
just,
the perfect run.
Yeah, exactly. Like a perfect run, no kills, no bodies found, kind of game. But it's like super silly. It's like you're just dressing up as like different people and running around, and
sure,
like knocking out waiters and taking their stealing their clothes. Those damn waiters.
The earmarks of a great stealth game, just beating up waiters and stealing their clothes to blend in.
Yeah. And it's like I played a bunch of the Hitman games off and on over the years, like for like PS2 and whatnot, and none of those really and PC as well, and none of those really like clicked with me back in the day, but like the new series that IO Interactive has done has been just rad.
Yeah.
Like it's just 100% like right up my alley. Like I said, I know you're not like a hardcore stealth guy like myself, but
I don't mind stealth. I just there are just times where I like to run in like guns a-blazing, like just give me I want to fight like every wave you've got, like let's go. Like that's why I love like I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima like nonstop, and I finally beat through the main story, and it's excellent, by the way. But like that's why I love that game, is because like there are different like Mongol encampments where it's like, yeah, you can go all stealth, or you can just announce yourself to the world and just be like, let's go. I'm ready to take you all on. And
yeah,
and that's why I love that blend. Like I'm never big on one way or the other, but if you give me that balance, like I love having the choice between the two. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. So it's definitely like Hitman's like exclusively a stealth game. It's you can't really.
It makes sense.
Exactly. So it's like if you get spotted, you're kind of screwed.
Sure. I know that's why you
really
love like
that.
Dishonored as well, and I just for some reason I just can't. I don't know. I can't get into it. I've tried many times and I just can't.
Well, that's what I love about Dishonored is actually, if you get caught, like you have a bunch of like awesome options. You can like
you've got like different powers and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had a reason, but there's just when I play it, there's just a feeling of like, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't, there's nothing I can pinpoint exactly. There's just I don't necessarily like it. It's okay. And I understand the appeal, and I'm not discrediting the people that made the game. I'm sure they worked very hard. There's just something about it just not pulling me in. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's all good. Kevin's saying stealth is for chickens with 3 pictures of chickens. So I guess Kevin's with you on that one.
Yeah, see? Kevin knows. You just got to run in.
Oh, man. So I've been really enjoying Hitman. as of late. And I have one more game to talk about, but I wanted to kind of go your direction first. So you've been playing a lot of Ghost Tsushima.
Yeah. I finished the main story a couple days ago, and now I'm doing like I'm kind of doing all the side quest stuff, and just running around the island and beating up all the Mongols that are still taking over the land and like maintaining like certain camps. And it's great. Like unlocking the different armor in the game, it's really cool. Like there's so many cool outfits you can wear, and like changing the color of them, and like you can have your sword, like the sheath, match your outfit, and like the saddle on your horse can match what you're wearing. It's just really cool, like the different outfits you can wear, because there's some of them are kind of funky a little bit, but it's really fun. I love running through it. And I've been playing with the Japanese audio, so it feels even more like, oh, I'm even more in the world of Japan, and it's really fun. And I love like going up to camps, and just like there's a thing where it's like you can do something stealthy, or you can walk up and do a standoff where you just like just challenge them straight up. And I usually just challenge people, and I kill like 5 people in a row, and then like just the rest of them come at me, and then I just use all my items, and just it's really fun. Like it's being able to like the resources that you have available for you, and like what you're able to also interact with in the environment. It feels like you feel kind of like Batman almost, like you always have something to work with, and it's really fun. Like just being able to do that, like throwing smoke bombs and like kunai, and then darts, and you got your bow and like explosive arrows, and you've got little I forget, black powder bombs where you can just throw and like blow people. It's really fun just being able to run through your inventory. And the only thing about that game is like once you reach a certain level and like you've powered up like your sword and your armor, you kind of feel unstoppable, and it's just which is fun. It's still fun. It's just there's a point where you're just like, man, wish there was a little bit of challenge. You guys are sissies.
Yeah, it's one thing I don't like about, like open world RPGs like that, where, I'm sure from a game designer, game developer standpoint, it's like so tough to strike that balance where it's like, oh, you need to level up and stuff, but it's like eventually you're going to get to a point you're too powerful. Like I just beat what's it called the other day, Cyberpunk, and I was at the end of that game and I was just like breezing through. It's like there's no challenge because I had done all the side quests and stuff, so it was one of those things. So I was like, all right, well, now this game's really, really easy. When it used to be like I would go up and shoot somebody in the face with like a shotgun, and they'd be like, I feel nothing.
They just walk towards you even faster.
Yeah, it's just like, what the heck? And then like one bullet kills me, but now I'm like, I could just eat bullets for breakfast, like no problem.
Yeah,
I don't have to hide. I don't have to dodge, and just walk right in and kill everybody.
That's something I remember with Fallout 4, because you got like you could level up so quickly in that game, and I think it was every level you get a new perk. So by like level 10, you're just like, let's go. I could just I could blow through all you guys like in 1 second. Like it's so easy. Like you can like you can have your person like breathe underwater if you wanted to, and like survive any amount of radiation. So you're just walking through like nuclear material and blast, and you're just like, let's go, I'm ready.
You're just Superman at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's still fun. Like I still like there's a part of me that I do like, I enjoy the challenge, but there's also a part of me of like, you know what, I earned this. I can walk around and through nuclear bombs if I want to. Like I earned this moment.
For sure. So there's one other game I was playing the other day that just came out for PS5 exclusive. It was Destruction All Stars. Basically came in as a free PlayStation Plus game for the month, and
blowing stuff up.
I would assume like they would keep that free for a while, but I don't know. We'll see. But so I decided to try it out, kind of see what all the fuss was about. And, once again, it's like a PS5 exclusive. So I wanted to kind of see what, what the game's offering. So it looked good, feel good. And, I kind of walked away not too impressed. It's one of those things where basically the gist of that game is like, you're in an arena, and you know you're basically like driving around a car, just smashing into cars. So think of like Rocket League meets like, I don't know. It kind of
Like
looks
Twisted
and
Metal?
feels like a little bit of Twisted Metal in there, without like the weapons. You're just kind of slamming into the
okay.
cars.
It's like bumper cars with Rocket League.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's like Rocket League meets like the ramming parts of Twisted Metal. And the kind of style and sort of movement of the game sort of feels like Fortnite a little bit, where you can do like taunts and stuff, and the way you kind of like your character runs and jumps, because you can get out of your car as well.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And run around. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's I think on paper it sounds interesting, but like in execution, I don't think the game's very exciting. I kind of played some rounds and I was just like, this is fine, but there's better games out there. I'd rather play Hitman. And it's one of those things that playing that game, all I wished, I was like, man, I wish this was just Twisted Metal. Like I wish that they had just come out with a new Twisted Metal and just made that like a free to play game. Cause I actually think like you could make a really dope Twisted Metal nowadays, stick it on like the PlayStation Plus or whatever, make it a free game for a while.
Yeah.
And kind of go the Rocket League direction with it. It's like introduce like new cars,
I was just thinking that.
Crazy events. Like that game, like Twisted Metal would be so perfect for like a free to play type game. And I'm not even a big like free to play person. I don't really like beating that drum too much, but there's certain games that
it fits.
Have done a great job, with exactly. It fits. And I think like games like Fortnite and Fall Guys and Apex and some of these games do a great job of like eventizing things and introducing new skins or characters or what have you. And man, Twisted Metal would be so perfect for that. Like, let me just jump in. Like, let me try out. Let's say they worked out a deal and they get some, like a James Bond car, or like
the Batmobile.
Yeah, exactly. You could kind of go that Fortnite route where it's like, here's these like wild, vehicles. But, even if they kept with like some of the more classic characters and just like kept introducing new characters, man, that would just be a lot of fun. I would love to just jump into a match with like, let's say you and a couple other people, like, let's just like drive around and smash into people.
Yeah, let's just blow stuff up.
Yeah. That's like a great hour of my time.
Sure.
Like,
maybe they'll do it in conjunction with the TV show that they're making.
Yeah, which is crazy. I didn't know much was happening with that until I typed in Twisted Metal, and it's like, Will Arnett is going to play Sweet Tooth. And I'm like,
that's such a weird casting too. Will Arnett is Sweet Tooth. It's so because Sweet Tooth is also like this big bulking man. Like he's huge.
It doesn't make any sense. Like I like Will Arnett. He's good. Like I'm a big BoJack fan.
He's funny.
But yeah,
I like him as Lego Batman.
Yeah, he does play a good Lego Batman. He's no Troy Baker in my opinion as far as the Batman voices, but is what it is.
Yeah, he's still good.
But yeah, man, you threw me off with that Will Arnett. I'm just like, man, what a weird choice. Why would they do that? Like, is he gonna bulk up? Like, that man needs to put on 50 pounds of muscle to be Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll make him look more like Jokery, like kind of skinny.
Yeah, they need to set his hair on fire too.
Well, that too. Yeah, it has to be literally on fire.
Yeah, it just seems like that seems like one of those properties where it's like they make a movie or something and it's just like, all right, well, that was nothing like the game and you totally didn't understand the property. And
yeah, it's so weird that like of all things, because like you've got two, like there were two big news castings, I guess, for video game stuff. It's like one hand you have a Twisted Metal show which seems to be going under the radar of like, why? And then Will Arnett is Sweet Tooth and you're like, why? And then you've got the Last of Us TV show from HBO, which sounds dope, and Pedro Pascal gets cast as Joel, and you're just like, That makes sense. This man is like only going to be playing the single dad of a child in every future role he's ever going to do from now on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that guy's great, by the way.
He's awesome.
That actor, he's really good in Narcos on Netflix.
Yeah.
That show's rad.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him.
Yeah, he could also just play like Burt Reynolds in a like a biopic.
I thought he kind of. I'm glad you said that because like the other day I looked at him with just like a mustache and I was like, he kind of looks like Burt Reynoldsy a little bit, a Latin version of Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he could be like Burt Reynolds' son or something.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's so for people listening out there, cast him as Burt Reynolds in Burt Reynolds biopic. Oh boy, what were we even talking about?
Twisted Metal, baby.
Twisted Metal. Oh yeah, so it's like I would love to see a new Twisted Metal, and that kind of got me thinking like, what are some dead franchises that you'd like to kind of see come back? And we're talking PlayStation today, so like PlayStation exclusive,
sure.
Franchises you'd like to see come back.
Well, there's a few, right? So like I'm gonna go right off the bat, and this one is kind of it's sort of a cop out because like technically it's not a Sony exclusive anymore, but I would love the original Spyro, that formula to come back. I know they did the HD trilogy, and it's now owned by Activision, I think.
Activision,
yeah. But like after the original trilogy of Spyro, like they took Spyro in really weird directions, and some of the gameplay in some of those games on like the PS3 and just kind of weird. But if they were to do like bring them back to the roots, kind of like they did with Crash Bandicoot with the recent Crash Bandicoot game that came out, it's A Wrinkle in Time or something like that, or the time one. I forget the official title.
Not A Wrinkle in Time. That's a book.
Oh yeah, no, that's a book. But like it was Crash 4 basically. But like something like that, like take him back to his roots. I'd really love the OG Spyro formula to come back, and like fun piece of trivia. The original trilogy came out in back to back years. Like they pulled that off. That's Insomniac, man. Somehow they just find a way to do things super fast. But besides that, I've got two pieces right here to kind of show and tell. So the first one, they've done sequels, but it's been a while since we've had a game. And in my opinion, after the first one, all the sequels were kind of downhill. But right. I would love a new Ape Escape. Can you see that? Yeah. Escape game. That would be dope. Ape Escape would be cool. And then
Ape Escape would be pretty rad. And people have kind of mentioned this before, so I can't take the credit, but I do like the idea of just like a photorealistic Ape Escape game.
That would be hilarious.
Just like real monkeys like running around, and you're trying to catch
with little helmets and machine guns.
That'd be great. And just give me like a huge open world of like running around trying to catch that
monkeys. Actually sounds awesome. Like I would love that. Like not only like the gameplay was fun, but like they also had really fun mini games. Like you could do like monkey boxing and like this weird like Galaga kind of game playing a monkey in a spaceship. But it was a lot of fun. Like I love this game, and like the items you get and like traversing the world was super interesting. And like you got an RC car, and then you had a lightsaber basically, and you also had like an oar for swimming, but like you used it to fly. It made no sense, but it was it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. And
it's one of those like one of the things I love about like classic games from that era. And kind of before that era as well. The games were just like the ideas were wild. It's just like I want to see the pitch for that game. It's like, all right, guys, here's an idea. What if there's like a bunch of apes and they escaped? You with me?
That's the title, by the way. And it's not that just like they escape, but they also escape through time. So now you've got monkeys on dinosaurs, right? We got the Jurassic Park audience.
I'm with you.
So you go, and then there's a boy who goes back in time to catch all the monkeys with a lightsaber, right?
I'm with you.
It makes perfect sense. And you have to go through different time periods to catch all the monkeys. Are you with me? Like, you got a lightsaber and a net, and that's how you catch monkeys.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
It's a wild idea, but it worked really well. Like, that is one of the best PS1 games. It's a classic. It's so good. And I would love a return to that kind of world. The sequel, like Ape Escape 2, it's okay. I never played Ape Escape 3, but like the second one was kind of meh, and after that it just kind of died down a little bit, and it just hasn't come back since 3. I think that was the last one. But
it was PS2, right? Ape Escape 3.
I think. Well, I know Ape Escape 2 was on PS2. I think Ape Escape 3 was PS3, or it could have been both. I think so. It's been a long time. I don't quote me, but I think it was one of those PS2, PS3 games. I think. Yeah.
Somebody double check. Somebody on Instagram double check us.
Yeah, really.
When did Ape Escape 3 come out? What system?
But then the other one that I have, this one is a deep cut. I don't know if many people have ever even heard of this game, but I adored it when I was younger, and to my knowledge, they only had 2 of them, and I've got the sequel disc in my hand right now. It's called Tomba 2.
Tomba.
Yeah, the evil swine return. Man, this game, dude, like, one, I don't even know. I think the guy, Whoopee Camp was the name of the developer of this. I don't even think they exist anymore.
Whoopee Camp.
Yeah.
What a name.
But like, this game, man, it was so much fun. Like, you're just like fighting evil pigs, and it's such a weird world, and Toomba is such a weird character. He's like this jungle boy with wild pink hair, and it's just a weird game. He's like this feral kid as well. Like, he's got, like, he runs on all 4. He's like Tarzan with pink hair. But man, this game is great. It's so much fun. Like, it's a side scroller, but it's a large open world. It's kind of Metroidvania. You got different sections of the world. You can go back and forth with different items. You've got like a grappling hook in that game. You get a pig suit. You get a flying squirrel suit. You can get like a fire mage suit. It's really wild and really fun. And it's one of those weird, like, I think PS1 to me, like, that was the first system to me that had, and in my life, that had really weird games. Like, the PS1 had tons of weird stuff. And, like, you know, they also had a lot of, like, Japanese games, which, you know, culturally, you know, when you've got East meets West, like, there are games that, you know, people in America play that aren't necessarily popular in Japan, and vice versa. Yeah. And Tomba 2 always felt like one of those weird games where it's like, I never met anyone else who played it. Like, I was the only person I knew that ever played Tomba, but it was super fun. Like, it's
sounds like an evolution of Bonk, if you remember.
Yeah,
you're basically playing a caveman running around.
Yeah,
kind of
a
little on the Metroidvania side of things.
Yeah, it feels like that, except you have just pink hair this time. Yeah, but it's wild. It's a really fun game, and man, I'd love to see somehow a revival of the Tomba series. Like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's so weird, and just such a weird game, but it's really great. It really is. Like, I can't speak enough about it. I spent many hours of my childhood playing those games. Like, they were so much fun.
Yeah, and you know, so in the original, like, kind of PlayStation era, the reason you got a lot of weird games was actually because of the CD based system. You know, the fact that you could basically make games for way cheaper. It basically gave people the ability to kind of get really weird with their games. So before the PlayStation came out, and I guess you could throw the Saturn in the mix as well, although that was kind of that system didn't sell very well, so not a lot of games came to it. But, you know, before the PlayStation, like, obviously game development's always been pretty expensive, but to actually physically put your game on a cartridge was actually really expensive. You know, whenever let's say you were going to make a game for, like, the Super Nintendo, you had to pay Nintendo like a fee to print your game onto a Nintendo cartridge,
right?
Which, like, you know, cost a lot of money. Like, I don't have any articles right in front of me, but like I remember reading articles about, you know, like the N64, and people are paying upwards of like $40 a cartridge. Like the developers were paying $40 a cartridge to print their game on and then sell it, which means like that's why like N64 games you sometimes would be $100 because like people would be like,
That's
I'm
true.
spending $40, $50 just to like put the game on this cartridge, so I have to charge $100 for you know.
You gotta make some profit.
Yeah, for I was trying to think of a random N64 game off the top of my head.
Banjo Kazooie.
That's not random. I was trying to think of a really random one.
1080p snowboarding?
Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero.
Ooh,
that
that's a
weirdo
bad game.
That's a real bad game. But yeah, so with the PlayStation coming out, people are able to make CD-ROM based games for way cheaper because of just the medium that they they were printing their games to. So with the cost coming way down, there were, you had smaller developers or developers that could take a chance on like something weird and stick it on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's definitely like that's always been pretty interesting to me. It's like PlayStation coming into the mix with like CD-ROM based games, and obviously that had been a while around for a little bit with like like Sega CD, and obviously PC, but I feel like kind of PlayStation hit the mainstream with like weirdo games that a lot of people were playing.
Yeah, there was another one that I played called Brave Fencer Musashi, and again, it's just one of those like it's very Japanese, one of those very Japanese titles that like not a lot of people played, but it was like I think it has like a little bit of a cult status, but like it's just one of those games where it's just like it's really good, and it's just like amongst the like thousands, I feel like PS1 games that like I feel like PS1 kind of had like two libraries. It was like the American library, and then there was a Japanese library.
Well, that was a lot of systems back in the day. A lot of like on Nintendo consoles, Sega consoles. A lot of times, like you would have like a kind of a split audience, getting different games, and sometimes like those games would come over, and like sometimes we wouldn't even get all the games. Like there's like several Final Fantasy games we're just missing.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they just like never came out over here, and another kind of weirdo game, like kind of speaking of weirdo Japanese games, the next one I had is Parappa the Rapper.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
The game is crazy. Like I want to be in that boardroom meeting when they pitch that game. Like, all right, so you're going to be like a dog, like a cartoon dog, but you're rapping. And there's like an onion guy and like that knows karate. And it's like,
you know that meme of like Elon Musk like smoking the like a weed, and he's just like, I feel like that's the boardroom meeting. Just like, get that man all the money to make that game.
Write this man a check immediately. I need a rapping dog. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy, like some of the stuff they used to come up with. But yeah, it's like they did that Parappa the Rapper remake a couple years back.
Yeah,
and it had like mixed reviews, if I remember correctly, because it's kind of hard to go back to kind of original PlayStation games a lot of times. Man, I would love to see somebody like take a crack at a new Parappa the Rapper game. Whether that's Sony Japan or like, give that game to somebody else to kind of take a crack at. Like even I can't remember the name of the studio that makes like Guitar Hero and all that. It's Harmonics. Harmonics.
Guitar Hero. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they basically make like all the music-based games, like
Rock Band.
Give it those. Rock Band's EA. I think an EA in-house team, but Harmonix did. I believe Beat Saber and. Oh, I hope that's right. I'm just this off the top of my head.
Guitar Hero. I've got Red Octane was a publisher, and Harmonix.
Harmonix.
Yeah, they've got a lot of developers throughout their lifetime. You know, it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I think those games still are alive. I think they still do like new.
They're still kicking.
Yeah, I think they still do new DLC for songs. Like, I feel like people like that audience, that community is still alive. Like downloading new songs to play. Kind of like the Just Dance games. I think are still alive.
Yeah. So give me a Parappa the Rapper version of that, where like he's that crazy dog singing like Cardi B or whatever. It's just give me some crazy stuff. I would love to see a new Parappa the Rapper. It's just like what a crazy series, and I would love to see what they could do on like a PS5 with it. Just get wild.
Why not? That made me think of like another one. And this isn't technically PlayStation exclusive, but I feel like it was made famous on PlayStation, and that was the Mega Man Legends series. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah, like dude, Legends. I still have Legends 2 the disc on my in my shelf over there. But like, man, that series was so, because I know Mega Man 64 was Mega Man Legends, but I think that came out after. I think the 64 release was after the PlayStation release, and I think Mega Man Legends 2, I don't think that was on 64, and I don't think... No. Yeah, I think that was... I don't know if it was just PlayStation, maybe PC as well, but I know it was like mainly PlayStation, I believe, was the main audience for Legends 2, but man, I'd love Mega Man Legends to come back, dude. I really wish that game would come back, or like that 3 that was made, and Capcom has it in a vault somewhere, and they're just like, nah, we're not gonna release it.
Nah.
It's like, nah, they don't deserve it. It's like, oh my god, I want that game so badly. Like, you want to talk about another weird? Like that game was weird. Like it felt like series. Weird Japanesey again. It's just like, and I don't want to make that sound offensive. I don't. I love Japan and I love the culture, but like that, it's just one of those. It felt like such a not Mega Man game. Like it felt so weird and different. I remember in Mega Man 2, there's like a weird like quiz game. Like there's 100 question quiz game, and it asks you questions about all through history. Like when did the Beatles form? And I'm like, the Beatles exist in this world? Like, what is this? Like, it's just such a weird game. Like, but it's so much fun.
Reminds me of my Mario quiz cards.
Yeah, like,
which, by the way, everybody listen, if next week, I promise, we're gonna play the Mario quiz cards game. This game is wild.
Yeah, we should. That was really good. Such a weird collaboration for Nintendo and the Encyclopedia people.
Yeah. Okay, I want to mention one more game before we move on, because it's like, I need to get on my soapbox for a minute. I need to talk about this game, because it drives me crazy. Nobody talks about this game, Hav. Nobody talks about this game.
Guitar Hero.
Starhawk. Like Warhawk / Starhawk, but I'm more of a Starhawk than a Warhawk guy. But for the love of God, somebody, please just bring back Starhawk. For the love of God, please bring back Starhawk. Like, I love that series, or that game. Kevin says Brutal Legends sequel. That would be cool, but that would be an Xbox exclusive now, because of Double Fine. They're now owned by Microsoft. We're talking PlayStation today, Kevin. But anyway, so Starhawk was a game that came out. It was a PS3 exclusive. It was it had a single player campaign, but it's mostly a multiplayer game, and it was a third person shooter, but like on these like enormous expansive maps. You're basically like in space doing space stuff on these like weird planets,
space things.
And so basically you're either like capturing a flag or like team deathmatch, that kind of stuff. And but the excuse me, getting choked up by thinking about Starhawk. No, this game was just so different than like any other multiplayer game, to this day, like that I've played. It was just so different, because you could basically, your whole team kind of drops from space in these like capsules, and you like hit the ground and you have to start building a base. And it's like almost like RTS style, where it's like you're like dropping. It's like, I need to build a barracks. I need to build like, some defenses. I need to build walls. I need to build like a vehicle bay. And so you just start like dropping these things from space to build your team or build your defenses, and so you can get vehicles and all that kind of stuff too. So a lot of times you'll have people that are like just builders that are just like I'm gonna stay here at the base, I'm gonna build these walls, I'm just gonna fortify our place.
Right.
And then you have people like, I'm gonna go out and kill stuff and we'll like immediately build a vehicle bay, jump on like a hover bike and just haul ass, and immediately just try and like take on the other team before their defenses are built up. And it's like this amazing give or take of like, trying to keep your base secure, and then you got people coming at your base and kind of working with your team to like, all right, some people need to stay here and like defend, some people need to go and like try and get the flag or get some kills or whatever. And then you can, like I said, you can be on foot, you can get like tanks and hover bikes. You can get in ships, and they're called Starhawks, which are basically like these planes that also turn into mechs. And it's just
that's
like,
pretty cool.
that game is freaking amazing. Like the guns are great. I mean, the vehicles are awesome. I used to just be like exclusively hover bike, and I would just be like, flying on these like hover bikes, across these like big open planets, and I would get to the other base. And I would typically bring like a shotgun and a rocket launcher with me. And the rocket launcher is basically to handle like, any Starhawks coming at me,
right,
any tanks coming at me. And then the shotty, I would basically like jump into their base and just start like mowing people down and grab their flag, jump back on the bike, and just like, I'm out of there. I mean, I have so many
basically
like amazing...
a space capture the flag game.
Yeah, but like I said, you can also do like deathmatch and stuff. But I think capture the flag is the best.
Sure.
Because you got people like just defending the hell out of this thing. Yeah. But also, you can start to like destroy the other team's base. You can literally, like, sometimes what I would do, I would go around like a super long way behind a base, behind like a mountain, and start building a second base like right behind the enemy base where they haven't noticed yet. And then suddenly, like, I have a bunch of like teammates coming in and like, building stuff and, getting vehicles and stuff.
That's cool.
And then like the enemy's like, oh my God, they're right behind us.
Yeah.
And man, that game was just freaking awesome. And it's like, what you could do with that game now, like the PS5 would be incredible. I mean, I'm shocked what they were able to do on the PS3 at the time. I feel like that game was like so ahead of its time and like everything it was doing. It was just kind of wild. I mean, you had people having dog fights in the air. You have people just like rolling around with tanks. You have like these people just building huge bases. It was basically an RTS that you're also, playing as like a third person shooter. And
that is pretty cool.
It's just with the ability to like get in vehicles and stuff too, and it's just everything was like super seamless. And every battle was like incredible,
Yeah. It sounds a little bit like the Lost Planet. You ever play Lost Planet?
No, that was a game I never got a chance to play.
It seems
I know of it, but
I mean, same kind of concept, right? Just in space, deathmatchy, capture the flag kind of stuff. But like, it seems kind of similar. And it's also, there was like wasn't there a game PlayStation exclusive called, I think it was called Mag? And it was just, like that was just an online. I think that was a PS3 exclusive. Like,
yep.
That was kind of fun though too, because like that was honestly like the PS3 when I got that was like my introduction to like online gaming. And I remember playing Mag at my friend's house, and I was like, oh my God, you can play with, like, I've heard of online gaming, but I've never done it. Because like I never had like
sure.
I never had like online like gaming access when I was younger, but like when I played that for the first time, I was like, man, this is so much fun. And realistically, it probably wasn't that good of a game. I honestly don't remember too much of it. But
that game like immediately tanked.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was like you could play 128 player matches.
Yeah,
it's just, like, ridiculous.
I remember seeing just like I felt like there was an army in front of me with just like tons of people, but like. Yeah, I that was like my introduction. I was like, man, this is actually kind of fun. And looking back on it, probably wasn't that good, but like that was the first time I played like a crazy online like shooter kind of game.
Yeah. By the way, before we move on, Angel said that he thinks there's a new Starhawk or Warhawk coming to PS5, but I haven't heard any news. Angel,
That'd be cool.
If you have a link, drop it to me. I'll even read a rumor at this point. I want that series to come back like really bad. So we're running low on time here, so I'd like to move on. Before we do, anybody that is new to on the Instagram feed, win this PS5 behind me. Details on our Instagram page. So I've been thinking about this for a minute now. And if you're listening to this on Instagram, feel free to like comment with your favorite here. But now that you've had the PS5 for, I guess a couple months or a month or a day,
it's been like a month.
Time doesn't make sense to me anymore. But now that you've had the PS5 for a minute, what would you say your favorite PlayStation console is? Out of all 5 of them, you got a favorite, and you can kind of factor just about anything into. Well, I guess technically, it could be the PSP or the PS Vita. A lot of people say Vita is like their favorite PlayStation console.
Dude, I loved my PSP. I'm just like, as a sidebar, like I loved my PSP when I had one. Like a friend of mine showed me like he was able to download like movies and like music on like when the PSP first came out. Like that was kind of like the introduction of like, whoa, cell phones and like these little Palm Pilot devices where you're like, oh my god, you can carry music and like games and that's amazing. But yeah, no, I love my PSP. But if we're talking main console, man, that's tough. Man, that's a tough question. It's because like I immediately want to say PS2, right? Because PS2 was like the first time I was like, wow, I can play old games on my new system and the new games on my new system, and I could watch movies on this system. Like that's pretty incredible. Like it was like a combination of all these things where it's like, man, I can do all of this with one system. Like the future is now, right? It'll never be better than this. And then you've got like the PS4 I loved because like, man, it like just looking at games like God of War and Spider-Man, like it kind of just like reintroduced like, wow, like it made the God of War franchise to me like, wow, this is truly like amazing. Like, right. And like it had these beautiful consoles that came out in conjunction with the games. Like that Spider-Man PS4 is clean. Like it is a good looking console, like just that bright red with a giant white spider on it. And the controller's really nice with like the white accent on the red controller. It's a tough question, man. It's really tough.
Well, that's what we do here on Multiplayer. We ask the tough questions.
It's really tough. I mean, it, like I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to take nostalgia out of it and like try and just think analytically, but I can't do that because I can't think of games like that because I love games, so it can't be something that I can take nostalgia out. So it might. No,
I mean, I think nostalgia is part of it. Like my favorite like Nintendo console, for instance, is the GameCube, just because, as you can see with my demo unit behind me here,
for sure,
like I love my GameCube. And a lot of that was because of the nostalgia of like playing Smash Brothers with my friends back in the day.
For sure. And like PS3, like it to me has an emotional connection because again, like that was the first time I online gamed. Like that was my introduction to playing online, and I might have to go with PS2. And there's a couple of reasons why. Like obviously, because like playing that, it was like I got a PS2, and it's like, wow, not only can I play PS2 games, I can play my Crash Bandicoot games or my Spyro games from PS1, but like it also introduced me to the GTA series. And like I remember hanging out like with my cousins, like my family growing up, we'd have like family like, parties and stuff at like my cousin's place, and like I remember me and like 6 other of my cousins, we're all boys, and we would hang out in my cousin's room, and like we'd play like, we'd take turns like playing San Andreas or Def Jam, Fight for New York. That game, dude, Def Jam, that's a good game. Amazing. That's a good game. Like I know it's funny and it's so weird. Like to think of just like here's a bunch of rappers fighting, but it is a good that's a good fighting game. Like it's legit a good
Def
game.
Def Jam was great. Yeah, I used to play Redman in his special. He would just kick people in the balls. It's just like what?
That's a good game. It's so good. I love that. That's a really good game. But like like playing those games, like, you know, it takes me back to like, it's like nostalgia. And like, that was also like, you know, like PS2 was kind of my introduction to like, I don't want to say like multiplayer games, but like that was the first time like I played a lot of games with multiple people, right? Because like like I know the N64 is known for party games, but like the PS2, like I played a lot of party games with my cousins and stuff. But like, you know, just playing those kind of games, and like again, it really has to do with being able to play PS1 games, and like being able to watch movies in my room, and like it was like I could never leave my room like with the PS2. You know, it's really great. Like man, it's tough. I might have to go PS2, I think.
I mean, it's a good choice.
Yeah, it's really tough though, like, because honestly, like, and it's also like the first time I played Kingdom Hearts, right? And I know a lot of people
I'm so sorry for you.
I know a lot of people are like on like there's no middle ground for Kingdom Hearts. Like people
there really
either,
isn't.
there isn't. People either really like it or just like whatever, Kingdom Hearts. But like the first time I played Kingdom Hearts, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like I'm playing this kid with a key next to Donald and Goofy. This shouldn't make sense, but it does. This shouldn't work, but it does. Like, yeah, I might have to go PS2. It's tough though, man. That's a tough question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, PS2 for me, like there's some. First of all, the first time I ever saw GTA 3, that game literally blew my freaking mind. Like I had never, like I didn't have a PS2 at the time. My buddy Thomas did, and I was at his place, and he popped in, GTA 3, and I was like, what? Like, it was so great. I mean, it literally, like this, I had never seen like an open world sandbox like that. It was like so freaking insane.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the future. It was literally the future.
For sure. Yeah. No, it really was.
That game was crazy. And I want to mention, Angel replied, and he said on Instagram, and he said PS3.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
dude,
mostly for Black Ops and World of War and Mortal Kombat and GTA 5.
Dude, MK9, that's my favorite Mortal Kombat game still. That game is so good. Like on the PS3, because you could also play as Kratos and Freddy Krueger. That was such a and like I really like the story of MK9 as well. Like I loved that game. That's a good choice. Like MK9 has a special place in my heart for sure. I think that game's fantastic. Like legit, that's a very good fighting game. It's up there with Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Yo, speaking of franchises to bring back Def Jam.
Oh man, if that franchise came back, I'd love that.
Put Parappa the Rapper in there, bringing it all around.
Yeah.
It all around.
Give me an HD remake of that.
Yo, Def Jam, that's some nonsense.
It was so good though. It was a good game.
So you went with PS2. I've been thinking about this obviously because I thought of the question, and I'm gonna have to go PS3 on this one.
Really?
Yeah, PS3.
I feel like that's interesting. I mean, that's just like Angel, but I feel like a lot of people industry people would be like PS3 is the weakest because it's so uninspired and blah blah blah.
I don't know, man. I think they, first of all, the PS3 was like a powerhouse of a console at the time. Like,
it was.
Sony came out and just like built the craziest monster, console that also looked like a George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
And they were like, this thing does it all. It's got Blu-rays, it's like super powerful. And, we're going to sell this thing under cost. And
didn't NASA awesome. Use them?
Yeah. So NASA, for people out there that don't know this, like NASA literally built a server farm of PS3s because it was like, the power of it at the price point. They literally just bought a whole warehouse of PS3s and
awesome.
Made a server farm. Like it was a super powerful console at the time. And you can kind of see through the games that they were making for it, like Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us and these games. Like
that's true.
It's crazy.
Man, that's so true.
And it's also so the PS3 was also my first console for like really diving deep into online games. Like I used to play with my buddy Jason all the time. On PC we'd play like, Unreal Tournament and Tribes and stuff like that. But like my first kind of dedicated console that I played a lot of online games was definitely PS3. And you know, what's funny is I used to not be like a Sony guy. You know, with the PS1, PS2, I played them, but I was like, I never bought those systems. And a lot of times I would call people out like, GameCube's better, suck it.
I mean,
like, and
I'm not arguing. Like, I do think GameCube is better, but this is a Sony show right now, so.
And you know, it was one of those things that when it's funny. It's like GTA 3 blew my mind, but when my once again, it was my buddy Thomas. He had a PS3 before I had one. He had Metal Gear Solid 4. And when I saw that game, I was like, this is the future. Like, that game was so stunning at the time. I had never seen a game as good as Metal Gear Solid 4 at the time. And it was just, and that was also a series like I had totally skipped. And it was one of those things that I was like, I'm going to go out literally today. I'm going to buy a PS3 and I'm going to play every Metal Gear Solid game. And I did. It was like exactly what I did. And now it's like one of my favorite series. But Metal Gear Solid 4 was just incredible. Like, you know, I think the single player campaign, but also the multiplayer is like one of my all-time favorites. Like, I mean, PS3, at least for me, you know, everybody's got different tastes, but like it had like incredible online multiplayer games. You know, Metal Gear Solid 4 for me, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3.
I was gonna say those are like low key. Those are good online games.
Yeah, I had never even like I skipped the first Uncharted for a while, but then they did a beta for the Uncharted 2 multiplayer, and I was like, "What is this game? This is incredible!" And it's actually what like got me hooked off Metal Gear Solid 4 online, and I started playing Uncharted 2 online. And then Starhawk came out, and that's what took me off of like Uncharted online. And so I just had all these like amazing online experiences with the PS3, but also like, man, I loved the library of the PS3. I mean, it's just incredible.
Is the PS3 the Nintendo GameCube of the Sony consoles?
Kinda. You know, it's like out of all the systems, that was the one that for a long time it was suffering. Sales wise, like. I mean, like the 360 was like selling it like
dude, the 360 was like everyone I knew had a 360, and I was like, PS3, anybody? And all I could say was like, yeah, but I can do free online, even though I didn't really play that much online. I was like, yeah, but it's free.
Yeah, and so it's just one of those things that like, I mean, everybody had a 360 except for me as well. I was a PS3 kid, and PS3 Wii was basically. Wii S3 is what I had.
Yeah, really.
And you had people that were Wii 60.
Yeah, Wii 60s, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I have so many good memories of
dude, you're right,
of
man.
the PS3 and it's also just literally The Last of Us. Like, period.
I mean,
like
the
end
Uncharted
of sentence
trilogy. Like that whole trilogy was on the same console, and it's really good. Like, it is really good.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to go PS3 on this one, but
that's good one,
PS4 I love a lot as well. I got a lot of love in my heart for my PS4, but
same.
Yeah, I got to go PS3.
Yeah, it's tough. It's so tough, dude. I like honestly, like they're all my favorites. I love them all. They're all my favorite for different reasons, right? Like PS3, I had my first online gaming experience, which is awesome. PS2 was that first time of like I felt like I don't want to say an adult, but I felt like, man, I have a device that can play movies, I can play games, and I can play old games. PS1 was like my introduction to like weird games because
Toomba,
like Toomba. Like, if anybody at me, bro, if you play Toomba, it's a good game, and nobody I know ever played of it. Like that's like that one, and then PS4 was like, you know. I mean, speaks for itself. Like PS4, like reintroduced me to like a franchise that I loved, and it's God of War. Like I played every single God of War game, and like for the longest time, I was like, man, I wonder when that next one's gonna come out. And then PS4 was like, hold up, we're gonna do something different now with God of War. And then you just see like old Kratos with a big beard and a big axe, and he's just like, boy, and it's just super different. I'm like, man, it's ballsy and gutsy, but like it's so good, and you know. Man, it's just, and I love the PS5 I have now. They're all so great, and I can't wait to for 10 years from now, the memories I have of my PS5, like it's really wonderful. They're all just brilliant. I love them all.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I could sit here and literally talk about all this all day, but
For sure.
we're out of time. But before we go, a couple quick things. First off, it's funny because we're on Instagram Live, but where can we find you for the people watching this on YouTube later or for on iTunes and all that?
Instagram loverboy_Hav. That's my you can at me if you're a Tomba fan.
He's at Tumba Hav.
That should be my next name. I'm gonna do that next.
And then I'm at ZachMatzganis, that's ZachMatzganis, and of course you can check out Multiplayered at Go Multiplayered on Instagram, a little bit of Twitter, a little bit of Facebook, mostly the Instagram stuff is kind of where we're at these days. And also win a PS5. For people still listening on Instagram Live, or if you're watching this on YouTube or on iTunes or any of that, February 20th is when we're giving away this PS5. Please go to at Go Multiplayer to check out the details to enter to win it. I really want to give us away, to a lucky young boy or girl out there. So and that's basically like we're giving this the PS5 away to promote the show and just get more people kind of listening and watching and all that, but also like to build like a cool community of people. It's like my favorite thing about video games is the community, and there's a lot of crap out there.
Yes.
As far as like just the world that we live in, it can be kind of a crummy place.
It's bad.
And on the video game side too, it's like, there's a lot of like, negative people, but also a lot of stupid freaking scalpers, and boy,
I hate them.
Do I hate them.
Yeah.
And so like it's been my mission the last like couple months to get PS5s and get those into the hands of like people that have yet to find one. So doing what I can on that front. This is one of the ways I wanted to do that, is like give a PS5 away to somebody that has yet to get one, or if they have one, you can give them to like a friend or like a sibling, like somebody else that's also looking for a PS5. But
for sure.
Angel was asking if we're gonna announce this on a live stream. So Instagram Live on Saturday, February 20th is when we're gonna announce it. I don't know what time yet. Probably noon.
Yeah, I think
typically
noon.
When we. Yeah, so we'll do noon Pacific time to announce that. I'm basically gonna take all the names. I'm gonna just write them down, throw them in a hat, or I got a little Mario hat up here. Maybe I'll use that.
Got a few.
Yeah, I need a Sony hat.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
I don't know. Nobody wears a hat in the Sony world.
You can take one of your empty. You can take your PS5 box, like yours that you use, and there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. So so we'll be announcing that February 20th, right around noon. We'll do a little live thing, and we'll draw a name, and then we'll email you and be like, "Hey, you want a PS5?
We love you.
Give us we love you." So that's kind of the gist. So that's our show for this week. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Definitely on the Instagram side. Angel's been just hanging out this whole time. Thanks, Angel.
Yeah.
I think Kevin's lingering too. That jabroni.
He's lurking.
Nobody likes him. But yeah, thanks for watching. Remember, you can check out our episodes every Wednesday on YouTube and YouTube and iTunes and Google,
Spotify.
Just Spotify,
Stitcher.
We're on Pandora now. I think we're all over the place. So check us out. Thank you so much. We will see you all next time. Peace.
We love you. And you should love you too.
Oh, I almost forgot. We love you. Let's try this again. Peace.